Hello, I'm Sherry Below, your community correspondent for the Western Wisconsin Journal. Once a month I get to talk with interesting people about the work that they do. And I do that to create awareness and build community, but also with the hope that you, the viewer, either learn something new or are inspired somehow to get involved or take action. Today my guest is a coach, not a sports coach or a vocal coach. She coaches people on productivity, leadership, and balance. And I think every person watching this will glean something valuable, some information from what she's going to be sharing. So I'd like to introduce you to the effervescent and vivacious Tracey Steivang. Thanks for being here today. It's nice to have you. So when we talk about coaching people, we want to make sure that everybody understands you're not just shooting from the hip here, right? You have an actual degree to do what you do. So let's start there. Tell me how you came to be a coach.
All right. Well, I have an education degree, so I taught for a couple years, and then I have a director of Christian education degree as well. So I started out doing that, and there was a lot of just coaching with people and students and parents, and something that I loved. And from there, I went and got a master's in clinical pastoral counseling and a certification in human behavior. And so with that came a coaching certificate through those, and it just kind of all evolved from there, moving forward through education. And coaching is a lot of teaching people and helping them troubleshoot and move things forward. So it all kind of fit together with all the things that I've done.
So you found that a lot of people were coming to you just naturally.
Yeah.
And that then you decided, so you got that 10 years ago, so then 5 years ago it was about that you decided to go into this coaching business.
Yes.
Full time?
Yes. I was kind of always doing my work on the backside because people were coming in and I was either counseling them or coaching them or trying to help them, and realized that that's really my favorite thing to do. So it made more sense just to do it as my job versus the other stuff.
That's awesome. You told me that as a coach, your goal is to help people get unstuck, right? So talk a little bit more about that.
Okay. Well, you know, we all have that area. There's something that we get stuck in. Like there's, whether it be professionally or personally, whether it's making the right choices and being healthy, or in our marriages, maybe we're stuck with our communication, or we know we want to move further in our job, but we are not quite sure how, and so we feel stuck. So my whole goal is to help you get unstuck, whether it's some tools, whether it's confidence, whether it's support. Sometimes we just need a cheerleader, and maybe it's stuff that we've heard from other people, and it just lands better. But the big part of it is accountability, because best friends and sisters and people are great, but when they don't hold you accountable the same way as a coach holds you accountable and helps you move forward, because there's an expectation and a goal set, and ideally to get you unstuck and move you forward. So,
and that's why I think this pertains to everybody watching, because we all have a place or a time in our life where we feel that way. So I was like digging in. Let's just dig in to some practical tips, because I was looking too at your Facebook page, and you given each day of the week like a special name, and you call it something.
Yeah,
right?
And some of that is our little play for marketing, because if you hashtag things, you get noticed on social media more.
Right.
But it's super fun because you start looking at, like, Mondays can be Motivation Monday.
What do you do on Motivation Monday?
So Motivation Monday would be like, I would put something out about how, like, all the things that I'm working towards, the things that I'm moving towards. So kind of really focusing on those things. So Motivation Monday is, what am I motivated to do? And it's Monday. And I think Monday gets a bad rap a little bit, because it's like, oh, it's Monday. But Monday is like the greatest day of the week, because it's a possibility, right? So if we're motivated and we're really clear on our plan for the week and what we're trying to tackle and where we're moving, and we have an idea and we can see that, our end goal by Friday, that's definitely, I kind of move things through each day.
I like that, because I think about what I want to accomplish that week, but it's to be more intentional about it, is good, because I don't always do that.
Yep.
Sometimes you just go day to day.
Yep.
So.
And that's a huge thing, especially with my clients that I'm coaching, or just myself. That's been a huge game changer for me when I left not a 9-to-5, but definitely when I left, and when you do it by yourself, if you don't have, for my own business, if I don't have a clear plan and know where I'm going, it's really easy for the days to just kind of fly by, and I don't know what happened at the end of the day. And so if you have it laid out, you run your day doesn't run you, and that makes a huge difference. You want to run your day. You want to have that motivation and that plan. And so each day kind of is just a progression to make sure you're staying on track that way so that you execute your plans.
What's Tuesday?
Tips. Usually Tuesday is like a tips. Like,
Okay.
so if for me, that one, I just like try to look like something that you do that can be easy, that can help you, that can either make the productivity easier or your leadership, or just drink your water. I mean, it could just be that simple, like drink your water, hydrate, sleep. You know, like something that a lot of times tips are things that I'll think like, I used to do this and it used to work really well. And then why is it not working now? Well, because I dropped it. Like, and it could be as simple as drinking your water for the day, but it might be making 5 phone calls or planning out my day in advance. Like if I notice my days are getting too crazy, I've overscheduled. So then I look and say, okay, I need to look at my whole week when I'm scheduling versus just one day. So just that kind of thing, just little tips that like you're like, aha, there we go. So that's Tuesday.
And how about Wednesday?
Wednesday is, I call it Work It Wednesday. And so
That's interesting to me. Explain that.
So it's just a day to be, because I think, again, Mondays and hump day, like it's just kind of it's the middle of the week. So it's really being really focused in on exactly what you want to do and really kind of plow through as much as you can. And I focus on things that move my business or my life or my goals forward on those Wednesdays versus like a task or something that, like paying bills wouldn't be something I would do on a Wednesday, because Wednesday I'm working on things that move my life, my business, my relationships, all those things forward. So whatever area of your life you're focused on, Work It Wednesday is where you want to work on things versus just in things.
And didn't you talk about distractions or how we get interrupted so often?
Yes, there's crazy statistics that say that, like in an office setting, people are interrupted every 3.4 minutes. And if you're interrupted every 3.4 minutes, it takes your brain, the interruption residue that's in your brain, it takes 20 minutes to recalibrate and be focused. But if you're being interrupted every 3.4 minutes, you never have 20 minutes to fully recover. So you can never do that. So there's a couple businesses I work with that we've implemented No Talk Thursday, where they come to work, it's absolutely silent. They don't have any alerts on their phones, no emails, no anything, because the interruptions, they take up so much time. There's other statistics that say things, I can't remember, I think it was, I don't know. I don't even want to quote where it was from. Because it's off the top of my head.
I picked up on brain residue.
Brain residue, I'm not sure. Yeah, but that on an average, people can spend 6 hours a day checking email and dealing with email. And so their productivity is so far down. And so it's so important to be focused and have your goals and know clearly where you're going. And so on Wednesdays, that's what I do, because so often we never have time to move ourselves forward because we're always working in the middle of everything and kind of spinning our wheels. And so we want to always have at least some dedicated time every week to moving yourself forward on your goals.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
Thursday is?
Thankful Thursday. I'm a huge, I wish Grateful Thursday would be probably more for me. I am huge on gratitude. I think gratitude, it's a game changer. It helps rewire your brain. It is the secret sauce to life. And I know that it's super simple, and it sounds, I know people, so often we hear that, just be grateful or get a gratitude journal or do those things. But they are game changers. And it is something that is really, really important for us to take a moment and be grateful, because when things are hard, when things are stressful, being grateful changes it. So
Well, writing it down, a gratitude journal is a good idea, because then you're taking the time to write down the things that you appreciate about your life, and it changes your attitude, and or telling somebody else that you're maybe on Thursdays, making sure you touch base with 1 or 2 people and express your thankfulness for what they do in your life, or your gratitude for what
absolutely.
they
And when
do.
you hear, yesterday I was on my way from my office, and I had stopped at a store quick to grab some stuff, and the school called, and I picked up my phone, and I was like, oh, somebody's sick. I was like, one of my little girls is sick. And it was my daughter's teacher. And so then you have another panic for 1 second, like, uh-oh, what
What'd she
happened?
do?
And I know, exactly. I mean, I shouldn't say that about my 7-year-old, but she's spunky. And her teacher called to say that she wanted to make sure that she had called because of just what a great day my daughter had had and how she was a really good role model the day before with a sub, and just was so impressed by her, and like had the whole class stand up and give her a round of applause, or her stand up and the class give her a round of applause, and said, if you're looking for a role model, there was 2 students that she, chose, and my daughter was one, and she called me. I could not have been more thankful for that phone call, for someone just stepping, like just your everyday. You hope you're doing the right thing, but when someone tells you you are, it makes a huge difference. So
I think of the difference it made to her, your
oh
daughter.
my gosh,
Yeah.
I know, and I was so grateful. And so then I was bawling in the store because I was so grateful.
And what's Friday?
Friday is called Freedom Friday, and besides Monday, for sure, I guess I kind of like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are my faves. But Friday I call Freedom Friday because in the morning, I have to take care of all the things, the follow-up, the follow-through. We always take stuff from our to-do list, and it never gets to done. It's always there because we carry it over and over and over because it's the stuff we don't like, the stuff that you're gonna get to, and it's not urgent. So we just keep putting it on the back burner. So by Friday, I take all those things and make sure that they don't go with me through the weekend. And so by Friday afternoon, I have Freedom Friday, but the morning has to be follow-up, follow-through. It's just kind of painful. It's all the junk I didn't want to do. But I tackle it because I don't want it over my head over the weekend, and I don't want to take it into the next week. And again, that's been something for me in my own life, and then with my clients. Freedom Friday is so fun. I'll get messages from people. They're like, Freedom Friday started at 9:30 today because I was done, and it's fun. And then I usually like to take the Fridays to work on my business or do something that I don't usually get to do, or meet with someone, or just have that extra.
It does. It sounds really
Because I still need to work. We
Yeah.
still need to work on Fridays, but it's important to have the fun too, to know you don't have things hanging over your head, because that's the worst part.
Is there anything for Saturday or Sunday, like sleep in Saturday?
Oh, I like that.
Oh, you good?
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's just off limits weekend.
Such practical tips already.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. I
for sure.
learned stuff already.
Perfect.
But you're a coach, often one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you also do large presentations, like to schools
Yep.
or to staffs or to teams,
Yep.
right?
Yep,
What is
businesses.
the most rewarding part of coaching?
I love, I don't know, I always joke that I'm a glory hog because I love, it's probably selfish, I love watching everybody, when they get an aha, or they accomplish something, or something that they didn't believe they could do, or somebody watches their business grow in a way that they were uncertain about, but because they took a risk. And I get to be that person that is the cheerleader and accountability person and pushes you harder and builds you up so you can do it. And it's such a great, awesome job.
Watching
I
that
love-
aha moment
Oh my
for
gosh,
them.
yeah. When every time you see somebody have that, I can do this, that's amazing. I love that part. So it's just getting to be part of other people's journey and celebrate all these big and little milestones that they have is awesome. It's my favorite part.
Yeah, sharing with you in my job when I taught first grade and they were learning to read, and watching them put those letters and sounds together and make words in their eyes, and that aha, that's what I can relate it to.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun because we do that for kids. We celebrate kids all the time, and we're like, oh, we'll give you this tool, we'll help you. But grown-ups, we don't do that. We just assume grown-ups all know how to do it, or they'll have the courage to do it, or the ability, and that's what coaches do. They help you get where you want to be.
Nice. What's the most challenging thing about coaching?
When people don't listen to me? No, in some ways. But, I think when people let their fear be bigger than their faith, or the faith in themselves, or choose to stay stuck when you can see it and it's taking them longer. So patience, that's kind of hard sometimes. But for the most part, it's usually pretty good. But that's the hard part.
I wanted to ask you, what advice do you give other people that you kind of know that you should take yourself sometime?
No, I know. I'm just so amazing. Yeah, there's so much, all of it, everything. I think I think it's easy to compare. I think it's easy for me to like assume that I don't get stuck, or like, because I'm everybody's cheerleaders. And so for me, all of a sudden I'll notice that I'm hedging on something, or and just not staying stuck and pushing myself. And I've had to, like, I think coaches need coaches, and so I have a coach, or I'll get a sales coach or a business coach, or an awesome like spiritual coach that will help me through different things, which I think is important. So not thinking I have all the answers, for sure.
I know that you lost your dad at a young age, and then you were 19 when you lost your dad, right?
Yep.
And then recently you lost your best friend, and she was far too young to have left this earth, and those experiences have sort of given you a life motto. Talk about that a little bit.
It's through those things, the things that break our hearts and break us a little bit, that we realize that life is supposed to be lived, and that it's not merely meant to be experienced. And I think kind of 5 years ago, when I went on my own to do this, that was really a huge passion of mine at the time, just to say, I think we should experience heaven on this side of eternity and live life to the fullest. And it's part of the gratitude, it's part of stepping into who you are and whose you are, and just living out your best life. And so that for me is really important, that I help foster that with as many people as I can. And so that's the big thing for me. I want to help everybody live life to the fullest, and not just exist, or not just watch it pass us by, but just to really experience it and have it be an adventure. Not every day can always be an adventure, but it is.
And I think you said life isn't to be experienced, but you meant life is to experience.
Oh, yes.
Earlier,
Sorry. Yes.
And not just to exist.
Right.
And I love
yes.
that.
Sorry.
Yep.
I said it backwards.
That's all right. Yeah.
Yes, but it's not to be just exist, to experience.
Yeah. That's perfect. And you like to pick a word a year, right? Mm-hmm. What was your word for 2017? Do you have a word?
I do. It kind of came out of my word last year was fearless, and for 2016. And so I went after so many things, and I said I was going to step into everything and just go for it, and I did. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned that maybe I stepped into too many things.
Because you're vivacious.
It's vivacious, exactly. But I learned that there's some things that I don't want to do anymore, or I went after some things that I thought maybe would be a great fit for me, and they weren't. And so this year, I wanted the word to be like intention or something, align, which I know is your word for the year. But something really powerful like that. And the word that kept showing up is shine. And I thought it was funny. I was like, oh, my word can't be shine. But it truly, like, I have just fallen in love with this word shine, because I want to spend this year stepping into things that I am really passionate about and that I really love. And just being a productivity coach and leadership, and just being driven by the things that I'm really good at, and that I really, that are really in my wheelhouse, and doing more speaking and training. I'm going to work really hard to shine at those really specific things this year, and being a mom and a wife, and the things that are just the most important part of my heart. And so this year I'm going to really take time to shine, and maybe not be quite so, I like to call it multi-passionate, but it was maybe a little scattered last year. So I'm going to work really hard at that.
I remember going to a leadership conference and taking away that you should play to your strengths.
Yep.
That makes sense.
And I was playing to everything till I kind of figured out. And so definitely I have my own self and a good coach that was like, rein it in, girlfriend. So that's what I'm doing.
This might have had to do with your word from last year, but what do you mean when you say gratitude is stronger than fear? Because and we were talking about Thankful Thursday and gratitude. What is gratitude is stronger than fear? This
is one of my favorite things I learned when I was in graduate school. That was a huge aha for me, and it stuck with me. And I say this a lot, that we are so amazingly wired that gratitude is our absolute strongest emotion. And you would think it's anger or rage or fear. Like, we worry all the time, right? But there's no possibility to have fear and gratitude at the same time. Our brains can't function that way. We can't be grateful and have it fear override it. So when we're worrying, when we're fearful, if we're grateful, if we step back and find the good or find just a moment of writing out gratitude, it will be stronger. And I love that thought that we were designed so amazing that gratitude would be the thing that we feel the strongest and would override any other thing. And I love that. And so for me, that's when I'm worried, when I'm anxious, any of those things, being grateful is what calms me down. It is what does it. And I teach that all the time with my clients and with my kids and pretty much anyone that will listen to me. I'm constantly saying it. And I think I said this quite a bit during, election time and stuff when I watch. There's just a lot of fear. And it's not stuff we can control, but we can be prayerful and we can be grateful.
What is live fearless, be epic? Is that your tagline?
It is. It's kind of, I really think we should all do epic stuff. Like, I think it's exactly what we're meant to do. And when we let fear or insecurities or comparison, all those things get in our way, then we're not really living life to the fullest. So it goes kind of back to that, my motto that from John 10:10, that like, you just want to live life to the fullest and you want to experience life, not exist. See, I got it right this time. I did it right the first time. But it's just do epic. Yep. That might be read a book. That might be make a sandcastle with your grandkid or your daughter or your neighbor. It doesn't matter. Doing epic things doesn't have to be climbing a mountain, but it might be, but we stop dreaming, I think, a lot. And so it's putting the adventure back in, doing some really cool stuff, and that for each of us is different.
Think about the last 5 years or so. What are a couple of things that you really feel that were epic?
Surviving having toddlers. That was
Amen.
For sure. I think this business and going out on my own and having that confidence of taking a really big risk and saying I can do this and I believe in this so much, for me that was huge, and just taking the chance on that and just I don't know, those big things, like raising my kids. They're all in school now, and I think that for me was such a huge focus, to get to be able to have this really fun job and balance it with getting to be a mom. Has been really kind of an epic deal, because I don't take that for granted for 1 second, because not everybody gets that luxury, and I'm really blessed with that. So for the last few years now, I'm like trying to knock it out of the park because they're in school.
Yeah.
So.
And the name of your coaching is Win. That's your maiden name.
That's my maiden name.
So
Yep.
Tracey Win Steivang, and it's Win Coaching. So you have a Facebook page.
Yep.
Right, and that's where I found some of these tips right there. So if you like her Facebook page, you will get more of that kind of stuff. I've also seen you do a really wonderful presentation about the many hats that we women wear.
Oh, yes.
And you wear a lot of hats, and I was at that presentation. It was honest, and it was practical, and it was funny, and it was uplifting. So I really appreciated
what I was going
those
for. So
tips
good
that you shared. The tips to I think you've got great insight and authenticity. So is there anything else that we missed?
I don't think so.
I think we covered a lot, but I want you to check out Win Coaching and her Facebook page, and she also has a site. What's your website? It's
wincoaching.com.
wincoaching.com. Very good.
We're on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm not so great with the social media, but I'm trying. So
all right. Well, thank you so much. And I just wanted to let you know, if you have an idea for this show, someone in the community that you think I should interview, you can friend me on Facebook, Sherry Below, or you can go to my Facebook page. It's Humans of Hudson, Wisconsin, and let me know. Because all the interviews that we do here on cable are posted on social Instagram as well. So I'm open to your suggestions. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.